Hello everyone, this is Eric with GameBall, the gaming trackball mouse. Today's video is going to be me demonstrating GameBall within Valorant, the new first-person shooter game. So I'll talk a little bit about what the game is, talk about the button assignments, how I use the GameBall within game, and then at the end I actually have some footage of me playing some different matches in there. First note, I'm not a great Valorant player. I've just been playing for a few weeks now, trying to pick up on the game. I played some competitive shooters years ago, but it's actually been a while. So I am not good by any stretch of the imagination. I've been trying to get better so I can demonstrate the trackball. But don't take away from the trackball because of my mistakes. I make a lot of still dumb mistakes. I'm a spray and pray type of player so far, and you'll see that in some of the videos. But at least want to demonstrate you can at least be competitive, and if you want to dedicate some time into this game, it's actually a really fun game, and it's something you can play with a trackball. This is a game, or games like this is probably one of my more requested videos. People want to see, can you play a trackball in a competitive shooter? So I want to demonstrate that. So let me dive into a little bit about what Valorant is. So Valorant is a first-person competitive shooter. It's 5-on-5. There's an attack phase and there's a defend phase. Basically, you're trying to plant a bomb. They call it a spike, but it's effectively a bomb. And so one team's trying to plant the spike and the other team's trying to stop them from doing so. Most of the matches, there's different modes, but most of the matches you play best of 13, and whoever wins the 13th match wins. So that's kind of really the basics of the game. There's about 5 maps out currently. There was a long beta, which I did not play. I know there was a lot of people within beta, but I just started playing a few weeks ago, a little bit after it released. So the game's fairly straightforward, very similar to Counter-Strike or Counter-Strike Go, if you've ever played that. A little bit like Overwatch. The main difference is there's classes. So there's different types of characters. You can see them here that have different abilities. So they're kind of like magic abilities in a way. I play mainly Breach. That's just what I've been familiar with, but there's different ones that have different types of abilities. So for example, Breach can do a couple different things. He can cast this tremor that he charges, and it stuns anybody who's hit by that blast in that area. He also has a blind that works through a wall that blinds people who are looking at it from the other side. He also has a explosion that goes through a wall, good for clearing corners, so anybody caught in that is usually dead, or they take a considerable amount of damage. And then each class has their ultimate. So the ultimate for Breach is a really large area effect tremor that blows up a large area on the map and stuns everybody for a pretty good period of time. So he's kind of more of your aggressive character, more for clearing angles and clearing sights and things like that. So the game's fairly straightforward. I've actually had quite a bit of fun with it. I haven't played a game like this in quite some time, so it's kind of a nice change. But I would recommend it. It's free. You can go out there and get it and download it and start playing it. I believe they do a form of matchmaking based on your skills, so you won't be playing professionals right off the gate. You will be playing probably some better players, and you will probably die a lot. It's taken me, the last few weeks to just get even somewhat competitive, and I'm still pretty bad. So the game is difficult, and there's some very good players out there, but I believe the game does a decent job of trying to match you up with other new players, so it is something that I would recommend. Okay, so let's get into the button assignments and how I have kind of my game set up. Nothing too crazy in here, forward, back, strafe, left, right. I changed the default movement mode to walk, so the default is actually run, and you make a lot of noise in this game when you run. So I changed it to walk, and then I hold down shift whenever I want to run. And then the other settings I have, pretty straightforward. Space bar is jump, left control is crouch, and then I do a toggle off for crouch. It's just my preference there. For the equipment, fairly straightforward here. Left mouse button is fire, right mouse button is hold down the sights. I like hold. I don't like toggle there. Same with the sniper rifle. And then most of the settings are fairly straightforward there. R is reload, and then your primary equipment, secondary equipment, that type of thing. And then spike in this game, which is effectively the bomb, is number 4. That's the default there. And anytime you want to drop a weapon, it's G. So that's fairly straightforward. For the abilities, I have ability 1 is Q. I believe that's default. Ability 2 is E. Ability for me is C. And then use my ultimate, I use my thumb mouse button. So on the trackball, that's this upper button up here for my ultimate ability. So left mouse button is to shoot, right mouse button, this guy over here, of course, is to look down the sights, and you'll see that in some of the gameplay. And then the communication system, the way I have it set up, is there's a team push to talk key, and I use the far right button over here. So I usually use my pinky to communicate, so that's push to talk, so I have that. And then you can ping, and let me show you what I mean there. You can ping different areas on the map, like if you want to point out an area or an object if you drop a gun or something. And that for me is the middle mouse button. So it's our small little button there, our small little middle mouse button. So that's the way I have the keyboard assignment set up within Valorant. Fairly straightforward. I didn't make a whole lot of changes, just a few preferences based on how I've played games like this in the past. So at the end of this, you'll see me in some gameplay. Like I said, I get lucky a lot. I'm not that good. I die a lot. I try to do some videos where it shows me both attacking and defending. It's typically easier to defend, so I try to do a little bit of both. There's some videos of me playing decent. There's some videos of me making really dumb mistakes and not listening to my team, but you know, I'm still learning. So it's kind of more than anything, I wanted to put some videos out there that show off how the game works and how it works with GameBall, the trackball. So hopefully you'll see that in there. Real quick update on GameBall itself. We're still trying really hard to get this thing out in by the end of 2020. We had a significant delay with COVID-19 and the global pandemic. Closed down our facility for quite some time, and we're starting to open back up a little bit in Great Britain. So hopefully we can still make the end of the year. That's a goal for ours, is to start selling and shipping by the end of the calendar year. Hopefully make the holiday season. So we're trying really hard. We still have the final manufacturing to go through, the certification testing to do, and get that all prepped and ready for actual deployment and full-on manufacturing. So that's kind of a quick update on the project itself. Of course, if you're not familiar with GameBall, I've been working on making a gaming trackball for a number of years now. I've had a number of different setbacks, but trying to make this thing a reality. It's not a project that you know, a big company is sponsoring. We're a very small company. I have a partner in the UK that manufactures trackballs, and they will be doing the manufacturing. So all the product will be shipped out of the UK and then shipped internationally. So that's the update on GameBall, a little bit about Valorant, and then at the end of this you'll see a bunch of videos. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this today. Hopefully you can see Valorant in action. Again, I know I'm not a good player. I'm not in any way trying to say that I am. Like I said, you'll see in the video I make a lot of dumb mistakes, but hopefully you get to see GameBall in action and see it in a competitive shooter, and at least see that with some practice you can be competitive with it. So I appreciate the time today. Take a look at the videos, and we will talk soon. Thank you. Bye. Teleporter.
planted. Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Planted.
One enemy remaining. Fire in the hole!
Up. It's enough.
Fight. Flash out. Out of charge. Got you.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left. Clutch.
Need one shot.
I go through anyone. Flash out.
Enemy spotted.
Enemy play. Enemy play.
Just to the left.
Dusted.
Last player standing.
Oh, what the fuck? Went through sewer.
30 seconds left.
Go!
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Just don't die and you win. Just don't peek. Just don't peek. Okay, or not.
Fade. Stop. your ult reach.
Flash out.
Thirty seconds left. Spike planted.
Free out.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Taking 4.